Hello everybody, and welcome to the 5D re-evolution. A re-evolution that's been long overdue, a re-evolution that is already upon us, a re-evolution that comes from within. Why is it now? Because it's meant to be now. Why is it here? Because the aliens are here. And so, divine timing of which is within us all, is upon us. We need to make the change from within, and we need to recognize a greater truth from without. It's already here. It's already upon us. We just need to open our eyes and see it. Even the government now are admitting the fact will and shall be extraterrestrial contact. So we need to wake up, we need to realize it, and we need to walk forward into the re-evolution. That we need to prepare. We need to prepare from within. It's a spiritual re-evolution, you see. It is that of the soul, of which we all have within us, and that we need to improve our recognition of if we are able to be ready for this re-evolution. Because the beings that we'll be interacting with will be powerful, but that does not mean that we cannot be more powerful. We need to learn to face our fears, but in order to do so, we need to learn how to introvert ourselves, our feelings, face all of the traumas of the past, all of the memories, so that we may be strengthened, so that we may be in a position to walk into this re-evolution, so that we are prepared for what lies ahead. Because we are powerful beings, far greater than we are led to believe. And if we do not find this empowerment, we will not be ready. And so we will meet and discuss and communicate with the wrong kinds of aliens, because they will be attracted to our trauma resonations. And that's how it works. That's how we co-create our relativity before us. The simple fact is that the less savoury kind will be trying to manipulate us. That's a fact. They will be trying to manipulate us into their perspective of relativity. And that's the bigger picture of it. That's the bigger picture that we must grasp, as well as healing ourselves, as well as uniting as a planet. This re-evolution is due, and it's a re-evolution from within. This is simply because the true empowerment is know thyself, and we cannot know ourselves enough unless we face our past, our traumas, and so be liberated into a greater state of higher consciousness, which is where we need to be. It's where we need to be if we were to face what is ahead of us. By doing so, we put ourselves in the best possible position in order to be able to interact appropriately and co-create the future of our choosing. And in turn, we will end up coinciding with the more savoury beings of the universe. The time is now. The time is already upon us. Why is it so important to switch our lives into a more spiritually accepting understanding of a greater truth? Because it's a greater know thyself, and that is the empowerment. That is what we need. That is going to stop us being manipulated. And so we must all learn to introvert, face our traumas, of which we all have within varying degrees, and so we need to learn to drop our ego. We need to reside within a more solid, soulful, unified placement. That is what is required. We need to accept the fact that it needs to come from within if we are to be prepared from without. We need to realise that we need to shed our egos of judgmental compartmentalisation, of which is linked to our trauma as a coping mechanism. And so, in doing so, we will simultaneously be prepared, mentally and spiritually. Why? So we are not led astray. So we are not led astray by the wrong kind of extraterrestrial. And so also not led astray by our own government, of which may or may not have their own spins of manipulation. We need to face the fact that there will be many kinds. There's not going to be just one single species of extraterrestrial, because essentially what we're doing with this re-evolution is awakening our consciousness to a greater truth. We are expanding it to allow a unification and a greater realization of which will not be held back by fear. We need to accept the fact that if we do not begin to face ourselves first, then we will not be ready to face the extraterrestrials. We need to face the fact that we need spiritually powerful beings in order to interact with them. The kind of beings that are ready to face them. The shadow workers of the world, in order to be a light worker upon engagement. Why is this important? Because if we do not have those empathic, intuitive capabilities, then we will be led astray. We need beings out there that are prepared for these encounters, spiritually as well as psychologically, because you cannot hide from feelings. People can manipulate with thoughts, but you cannot hide feelings. And that will be the key to delivering us the future that is already upon us. And so, I come before you now as a deliverer of this message to the world, because that's where it needs to go. And I speak to you now as a starseed awoken being who knows, who has faced the shadows, the traumas of the past, the dualistic states of limitation. And we need beings that are awoken too. And so, as a starseed awoken being, I promise you that is what's required. For I am already a part of it, and I am already aware of what is required. And so, I bring it to you. I bring it to you with an open heart and mind, clear consciousness, untainted by egoic agendas, fearless and ready to take on what is before us.